Welcome back to Recovery Unfiltered. I'm Larry.
You sit on the toilet, don't you? Use that as your meditation.
I'm Rob. Not my wife, not your wife, nor anybody listening to this podcast has eaten a shit sandwich we didn't have a hand in making.
Have you made any of those this week?
I have not made any.
Why not?
Well, I take that back. I made one, and then I had to call one of my brothers driving down the road and say, I'm resentful at, told the guy's name, what he did, what it affects, what was my part. We said a prayer and gone before it
wasn't me.
So I didn't run anybody off the road, a little teal Miata or nothing like that. Or a fucking Prius that's in front of you doing 45. There you go.
We got a fucking premature ejaculation already. You can't fucking stand it. Can't wait for our guest to come on to tell his fucking story.
That may or may not come up. I don't know. That's just, when you get behind these cars on the freeway, they just stand out.
Yeah. So how you been?
I've been good. How have you been?
I'm good, buddy. Hey, you know what? I heard in yesterday morning's meeting that you're sharing somewhere.
Yeah.
Where?
At the Harvest Hall this Saturday.
You know they're going to hear this well after you have already shared.
Yeah.
So, but
it's not my favorite thing to do. But again, that night is not about me. It's about people getting their birthdays. I'm just having to be the speaker.
Listen, prick. This is why I was mad at you yesterday morning when you didn't share. I'm going to go back and tell you and give you some of your own fucking words.
Some medicine.
You selfish prick.
Selfish prick.
You took away somebody in there that needed to hear you. Somebody in there needed to hear what Rob had to say. And you took that away from them. You prick.
You're right.
And now you're not telling all of us boys on Monday nights when you're speaking to be there to support your ass. You're selfish motherfucker. You're taking that away from us.
I just give them the highlights. I'm not, get in depth because it's not about me. It's about those,
I know.
But again, it's not my favorite. And why is it my favorite thing? Because what if I fumble? It's that fear. What if I don't sound right? What if I don't, whatever. Do
I need to throw back a lot of the words that you say to me?
No. I mean, if it was the minute I get up there, it's just like when Brad threw me under the bus. Did we have a podcast yet? No, we haven't. You didn't know that Brad threw me under the bus, did you?
When did that happen?
So we had our company Christmas party. Sorry, last Friday. So it was at the new chicken ranch.
Yeah.
So I took off work a little early. I'm sitting on the toilet. Yes, I've sanitized my phone. I had on the sink. I get a call.
Were you on the shitter?
I was on the shitter when I do my best thinking.
That's some dedication.
And it's the vice president, Stephanie. She goes, "Hey, Rob, Brad Luke said you would be willing to do the invocation, bless, pray for food." And I was like, "Sure."
Attaboy, Brad.
Well, absolutely. Now, hold on. Here's the Paul Harvey. Here's the rest of the fucking story. Little did I know, when I get to the party, she had asked him to do it. But he was scared. He didn't want. He was out of fear. He said, he's not ready for that. So maybe. But Rob would be good at it. He says, and I knocked it the fuck out.
Attaboy, Brad.
Because again, you get a little nervous. Get up in front of all the. This is different.
Right.
But the minute you start speaking, God takes over. And I don't remember what I said, but apparently it was all right. And I won half a pig that night, and he didn't. So maybe he should have said the prayer, and he'd got the blessing.
He.
That's not why I won half a pig, but that's what I told him.
No,
I did win half a pig, and we're having some stuffed pork or smothered pork chops along with the briskets. The brisket.
Yeah,
blade.
I'm sitting over here starving.
It's going to be good too.
Our guest brought me some fucking Cheetos. I guess now I'm just going to become those right there would make me start smacking. You'd be hearing that.
Can't have that.
No, can't have any of that. Hey, so we got a guest in here today. This is going to be a fun one. This guest is new.
How new?
86, 87 days.
My name is Brandon Roop, and I am an alcoholic, and today I have 90 days.
Attaboy, 90 days.
Today.
3 months today. Nice. I love it. We had Doug in here on his 21st, and he didn't even realize it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so welcome.
Thank you.
I'm so happy to have you here, Brandon.
I'm happy to be here.
Watching you go
We have talked about him a few times. We haven't necessarily mentioned his name, but we brought him up a few times.
We've talked about it.
Because he's on fire.
He is, and he goes. So one of the things that we come in, and the reason why I wanted Brandon in here and invited him in here. One, he's part of our Monday night group, and he's one of us. And I fucking love you more than life itself. And I think watching you go through the things that you've gone through and watching that light come on, and I'm gonna be honest, and then dim and then back on and then dim. It's when we see those lights come on, we love it, right?
Oh yeah.
My God.
That's the whole point.
It's the fun part of this because we know that it's coming, right? We know when every weird fact we're in here. Brandon's on top of the world right now, but we know that this. I'm going to play something real fast that explains this a little bit. This is Ben Affleck. Hold on a second.
I used to go to meetings and hear all these like old timers say, "I'm a grateful alcoholic, and the obsession left me a long time ago." And I would get so angry, I'd be like, "Fuck you! You're not grateful. What are you grateful for? You fucked your life up. You're grateful. Congratulations, boy. I want some of that too." But the cure for addiction, the only cure I've seen. The cure for addiction is suffering. You suffer enough that something inside you goes, "I'm done." And I'm like lucky because I hit that point before I lost my relationship with my kids. And when I felt as if it impacted them, I recognized it. It was the worst day of my life. I made amends. And for a while, I thought maybe this is temporary. Maybe this feeling is going to go away. But since that day, I swear to Christ, I have not ever wanted to drink once. So now I'm that asshole who's like, I'm grateful. I learned a lot. I actually got to be a better person through this process, and I've lost the obsession.
Yeah, so I heard that the other day, and it made me think of you. It made me think of a lot of people that come in and come into these rooms because we do come in angry, right?
Oh, definitely. I've had issues with anger most of my life. Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, we went to a wedding here a while back with Matt and Mary, and you were just fucking wanting to just strangle somebody.
Yeah, pretty close.
Yeah.
But he was there.
I was there.
Yeah.
And it was nice to see you guys. I think I said it in the next Monday meeting in the wild. It's like, hey, I got to see the guys in the wild.
Yeah.
And
now you're really getting to see us in the wild.
Oh, yeah. But it was. It's definitely been a roller coaster. But something I posted on Facebook at 60 days was the roller coaster is way better than the merry-go-round.
Absolutely.
And it goes from, if you can see my hands, I'm making big waves like a big ship.
Yeah.
Highs and lows.
To this.
Yeah.
As you go. Yeah. But again, when people say, well, and what pisses me off in the rooms, you didn't get sick overnight. You're not going to get well overnight. And they give people a wrong impression. He's 90 days in, which, I mean, whatever your definition of long is, that's a pretty short amount of time for what he's done and where he's at mentally, spiritually, emotionally.
Right.
That's a pretty fucking short time because God's doing the work.
Absolutely.
And Brandon's willing.
Right.
Yes, and without God, this wouldn't be possible. Without
Amen.
Jumping into church with both feet like I have, being in service in AA and at church, it's changed my life.
Say that again.
Days.
Yeah, thank you. I was
what?
just getting ready.
Being in service in AA and
Getting
in
into
church.
action.
Yeah.
Right.
This morning we had a pre-service breakfast and I volunteered and cleaned up and did dishes. Actually washed dishes for about an hour. Wasn't something I wanted to do, but that's what they needed. They needed somebody to stay and
Right.
clean up. So I jumped in and got after it.
Isn't that the funnest part is
Yeah.
doing shit we don't want to do?
Yeah.
You know damn good and well I don't want to do that. I'm not going to lower myself to do that, right? But Brandon, before we get much further, and we're gonna dig into that a little bit because one of the things I do want to talk about is those highs and lows, and the feelings that you're feeling on the lows
In new
and the highs,
sobriety, in early
right?
sobriety.
In that early sobriety is what. But tell us a little bit because this isn't your first run at AA.
No.
So tell us your story.
Okay. So I'm going to start back around right before I started high school. My parents got a divorce. They had fought for a good 5 to 8 years before that. I heard a lot of screaming and yelling. And then I think it was the summer before I started high school, my parents got a divorce. And the reason I bring that up is because that still affects me to this day.
Absolutely.
And right after that's when I started using and drinking. And that was my mechanism for dealing with things, was to get a buzz.
Escape.
Yeah. And so through high school, I didn't go to class hardly without being on something. So I did that, and then I had kids at a really young age. I met a girl, and my first child was born right after I turned 20. She was 18. And then we had our second child. I was 23. Yeah, 23. So that kind of added a lot of pressure, which I took it.
To a young man.
Yeah. You know, I'm 23. I got 2 kids.
Yes, sir.
I had to find a career quick. Got a job that, you know, I wasn't really sure that's what I wanted to do. It's what I do now, but wasn't sure. And you know, over the next 25 to 30 years, I just worked and got hammered. And that's how I lived my life. I lived my life through hard work and alcohol and drugs. And that's what got me by. And then
How was your marriage during that period of time?
Not very good. Not very. My wife raised our kids. I was there. I was financial support, and that's probably about all I was, which is terrible. You know, and my kids, I see that today. I've missed out on a lot. I don't remember a lot. There's things they bring up, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'll take your word for it. I don't remember. I wasn't there mentally. So
How old are your kids now?
they are 29 and 26.
Brandon, you and I are a lot alike, brother.
And I am 49. So,
You were 2 years behind me?
yes, 2 years
93.
behind.
93.
Class of 93. Oakdale High.
You know, our people listening are going to think Oakdale High is nothing but a bunch of drunks. The amount of Oakdale people we had come
No,
through.
alcoholics. Drunks don't get sober.
Sorry.
I actually
alcohol.
skipped something. When I was a senior in high school, I got kicked out of school for being assumed of being a dealer, which I was, but they couldn't prove it. And I got expelled, and my mom put me in rehab. So I went to Recovery Resources when I was
series.
series when I was 17. I did 28 days there, and I fought it every step of the way, and I got high the day I got out. So I did skip that part. But then to fast forward, I lived my life, went right back to what I was doing. And then in 2022, when I was 47, in June, I went to rehab. I'd had enough.
And now, were you just drinking now, or was it?
Yeah, drinking, and I smoked pot.
Okay.
Went to rehab. It was a 30-day program, and I said, I'm going to stay 60 because I've done 30 days before, and it wasn't enough. So I stayed 60, which I look back on now, and that was kind of a mistake because by the time I got out of there, the last 2 weeks, I was so over it. I was just like, I'm tired of being driven around. I'm tired of being told when I can take my pills because I take blood pressure medication, and I'm still taking some antidepressants, which I'm going to make an appointment to start weaning myself off of. But to get back to the story of, when I got out of rehab, I took 2 extra weeks off of work because I was going to try to find a sponsor. I was going to find a home AA group, which I started going to Northside in Modesto. And that was a good group, but it just wasn't for me.
How so? Why so? Can you put your finger on it?
I don't know that I could put my finger on it. It just wasn't that place to me.
Was it Northside or was it you? Oh, go ahead.
I would say, in my opinion, that place seemed really cliquey, and I wasn't in their clique. So I wasn't really welcomed the way I've been welcomed this time around. So I found a sponsor, and we communicated. He came to my house for dinner, and then I couldn't get a hold of the guy for 2 weeks. At all. Could not get a hold of him. I called him, texted him, nothing. And you want to talk about a resentment. And so then I started thinking, you know what? I don't need AA. I can do this. I'm fine. And then I went to a company that I used to work for. I had a day off. I swung by there just to see the guys. And one of the guys I was talking to, I told him, I've quit drinking, and, I've had a few beers since then. And he goes, we all just need a good reset once in a while. And when he said reset, I thought, he's absolutely right. That's all I needed was a reset.
Time to go.
I'm good. Yeah. And so my first drink was, I made it 16 months.
Wow.
Now, were you happy, joyous, and free, or were you just grinding?
I was grinding.
Right.
I was grinding. So from June till about October, I was in meetings. And then I made it from October until the next October. I went deer hunting, and I had made plans early in that summer that when I go to deer hunting, I'm drinking a beer, and I'm going to drink one beer, and I'm going to prove to myself that these AA guys, they say you can't just have one. And I thought, oh yeah, I can too. And I did. The first night I drank one beer, and it gave me the shits. And I thought, well, that was terrible.
Drink a Budweiser, probably.
No, it was Coors Light.
Oh, oof.
And so the next night I drank 2 tall cans, and then I started feeling better. And then I did okay for probably the rest of the year. And then,
Yeah, but you were drinking the rest of the year.
oh yeah, but it was controlled drinking.
Control.
But after the first of the year,
Controlled but not enjoyed, or
Right.
you know that they control and enjoy.
yeah. But so then after, I'd say the first of the year, then it quickly went right back
The
to
fuck it came in.
yeah. Instead of buying 2 tall cans, it went from a 3-pack of tall cans to a 3-pack of tall cans and 2 shots to then it was an 18-pack and a
Progression,
fifth a
baby.
day. 18-pack and a fifth. I was right back to where I was.
Yeah, buddy.
Progression.
So that went on for 11 months. It got pretty bad over this last summer. My new sobriety date is September 16th of 2024. And like I said, it got back to high levels of drinking. I'll talk about the last drunk that I had. The last drunk I had was on a Sunday, September 15th. I had a few drinks and decided to go to the bar in the town that I live in. And I drank way more than I should have. And when I got home, I thought I would do a little yard work to kind of hide how much I'd been drinking.
What time was it when you got home from the bar?
It was probably 5, 6 o'clock. It was early evening.
Okay, so not weird.
You didn't need headlights on your mower.
No, no. But I was
Like a tweaker.
mowing. I was mowing, and my daughter and my son-in-law, they live with us with our grandson, and they had bought a nice, not just a pop-up, $50 pop. It was a really nice Easy Up, and I was mowing around it, and I got tangled up in it, and I destroyed that thing. I mean, I broke every leg.
Oh, wow.
I
Were you
wadded.
pissed off?
Oh boy, I wadded that thing up, and I look over, and my wife's just standing there in the door, going, "What are you doing?" And I go, "Well, you could help me get out of this mess." And that was the beginning of the terrible night. Because then I'm laying in bed. I think I passed out for a little bit, and I'm laying in bed, and I'm saying to myself out loud, I should just kill myself. I should just end this. And my son heard me, and he come in and he chewed me out and told me I was being really dumb. I don't remember exactly what he said. And he left. He left the room. And I laid there, and I could feel myself getting hot. And I got up and I went and I confronted him, and he hit me. And I stopped and I looked at him. I said, "You just hit me." He said, "Yeah, you're acting like an idiot." And my wife got mad at me, and they were upset because I was threatening to kill myself. And I don't remember this, but I was told the next day that I threatened to kill all of them and then myself.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. And when I went to work the next day, it was Monday morning, and I left. I probably was there an hour, and I said, "I got to go, dude. I got to go home and do some damage control." I blew it.
How did you feel? Because do you remember the anxiety and just
No,
just wanting to crawl out of your own
overwhelming.
skin at that time?
Right.
Those times.
It was overwhelming.
Overwhelming.
To drive to work I just wanted to turn around, go back and say, "I'm sorry." But I thought about it, and I thought, they've heard I'm sorry a million
Yes,
times.
sir.
And
Yes, sir.
my son has told me that. He goes, "I'm sick and tired of hearing you say I'm sorry."
Bring that up later on. I'll tell you. That's
Yeah.
why I tell why I tell you guys what I tell you. Go ahead.
So I left work. I went home, and that's when my wife told me that I had said that. And I was floored because I was having suicidal thoughts, but I've never thought about hurting my family, never once. And when she told me that I had said that, I said, "Okay, that's it. I'm done." I went and I poured out the rest of the bottle that I had. And I had just found the micheladas, the Modelo micheladas in 12-ounce cans.
Those fuckers belong in the dumpster anyways.
And I poured them all out. And I
What
just
is it?
bought a
What is it?
12-pack of them, tomato beers.
Fucking
Okay.
tomato.
Okay. Well, hey,
But I
Tuesday
usually bought the 24-ounce tall cans, but they had 12-ounce 12-pack. I was like, "Oh, man, I'm
That's
buying
going to
those."
make it easier.
Oh, yeah. So I had, I think, 9 of them left. I'd only drank them a couple times, and I went and I poured every one of the, and my God, did I have a hangover that day. I could have used one, but I made the decision that day. That's it. I'm done.
And that was September 16th.
That was September 16th. And then the first meeting I went to was
Thursday.
the Escalon Thursday meeting
With his buddy.
with my buddy that I had went to rehab with. And he was something he told me, because he kept coming around after I started drinking. And one night he told me, he says, hey, if you can control drink, he quoted something from AA. He said, hey, our hats are off to you.
Right.
And I thought, right on. Well, maybe I am doing it. And I told him that later, and he goes, dude, I was being sarcastic. And I was like, oh, well, I took it as literally. I thought I was doing good. He goes, no, dude, you were blowing it. And he goes, I was just letting you do your thing. And I was like, all right, well, I appreciate
That's all we can do, right?
Let alcohol do its thing.
But when I went to that meeting on that Thursday night, Rob walked by me, and I thought, that guy looks familiar. And I'm sitting there in the meeting, and my buddy had told me, he goes, I'll go to the meeting with you, because we actually went to dinner in town just to talk, because he wanted to talk to me. And we were sitting there, and I said, hey, you know what? Tonight's Thursday. There's a meeting in Escalon tonight. You want to go? He goes, absolutely. I'll go with you. He goes, I don't suggest you say anything, though. I said, well, we'll see what happens, see how I feel. And it came around to me. I didn't say anything to Rob that night, but it came around to me, and I shared. I don't remember exactly what I shared, but I had 3 days of sobriety that day. And I felt good. I was like, okay, I did it. We left the meeting. My buddy told me, he said, I'm surprised you shared. He goes, I probably wouldn't have. And I said, well, I've got to do this all the way this time.
That's right.
So that kind of brings us up to,
well, then the next Thursday was the birthday where little Eric got his chip. Okay. Doug got his chip.
That's right.
And Brandon was there.
Yeah, and I introduced myself to Rob. I just asked him, I said, hey, you went to Oakdale High, right? He said, yeah, do I owe you an amends? I was like, no. No, we didn't really know each other. I knew who you were. And I thought that was kind of funny.
But you never know.
Never know.
And then there was another new guy in there that night, and he mentioned Ryan, yeah. He said, he asked if anybody there, I need a sponsor. And I thought, oh, God dang it, I didn't ask for a sponsor.
And and Brad was sitting right in front of Ryan.
Yeah.
And I text Brad, you better grab that motherfucker.
And I said, I talked to Rob and Doug after the meeting, because I knew Doug from before. And I'd already knew you don't go up and ask, hey, will you be my sponsor? You up and you ask, hey, do you guys know of anyone or anyone that has time? And I said something like that. And Rob threw his hand up. He says, I'm your guy right here. I'll be your sponsor. And I said, all right, well, let's do this.
You know, isn't it amazing though that, and I'm going to give Rob some kudos here because he deserves them. I mean, when I asked him to be my sponsor, it was almost the exact same thing. Right. And it was almost immediate. It just because Rob has such a giving heart when it comes to that. It's, you know, I give him a hard time because yesterday morning, there was a new guy in there.
No, yeah, you're absolutely. I should have fucking shared it because the meeting was long. Everybody wants to go about that time, and I should have shared it. Sorry, I was wrong not to do that.
Yeah, it was. And there was a new guy in there. Rob gets all excited.
Oh, that meeting, yeah.
That was Friday night, right?
Mike, new guy, his name was Mike. Yeah. His first meeting, Brandon, ever.
So
really,
yeah, he looked good though.
He looked like he'd already had a few days in him. But Rob gets all excited because he's got such that giving heart to do that, and he's such a good sponsor. Because if you're not willing to do the work, he's going to let you go fucking flounder. He is not going to fucking chase you, and that's what I needed, right? And that's the way Rob sponsors. And it's just either you're going to fucking do it or you're going to fucking bounce down the road. And I wish more sponsors were like that because I think a lot of this stuff that we're seeing with these people coming in and out, we'd see less of it, right? Mm-hmm. Go back to the old school way of doing this thing. And that's we go, right?
Well, but a lot of times I find they're looking for that.
Right.
I mean, and if they need a pat on the back, they get it. If they need a kick in the ass, they get it.
No, you're very empathetic too.
When they come in, when I came in, I didn't want nothing. I didn't need wishy-washy. And Jay is not this way I am.
No, he's not.
But I pushed him. But still, I wanted direction.
Right.
Here, I'm lost here.
Yep.
I want, I don't want what I've got. Give me some direction. And I mean, they need strong. They respond to strong direction. Yep.
Yeah, and it's
he was ready, just like you.
No,
ready.
Yeah, so anyways, that's having that sponsor and being able to walk up, and so many people don't have that ability to walk up and say those words, Brandon. That's going in with an open heart, knowing that you are done, right?
Oh yeah.
These people that walk through these meetings.
But you didn't do that the first AA time. Is that correct? So let's for the listeners.
Right.
Why weren't you successful the first time you came in? Why successful now? What was the difference?
Well, the sponsor that I had, like I said, he ghosted me for 2 weeks, which I could have pushed a little hard because he did get back to me after 2 weeks, and I got a text saying, "Hey, are you going to the 6 o'clock tonight?" And I thought, eat a dick, dude. I never answered him. I've still never talked to the dude since. I have no idea if he's in the program. I don't know. If I see him, I'll be polite and we'll have a conversation and we'll get through it. But I was, like I said, I stayed 60 days and I probably should have stayed like 45 in treatment.
In the treatment.
Yeah, because the last 2 weeks I was just.
Were they taking you to meetings when you were in the treatment?
Yeah. They took us to meetings, but I had a feeling of sharing in meetings was like a regimented way. There was a certain, you didn't speak what was on your chest. Well, that was just kind of the impression I got. Maybe that was just me, but I got a lot of, it felt more, you talk about how grateful you are. You talk about,
What if you're not grateful though that day?
yeah, exactly.
Get that shit out.
And I've learned that this time that I can talk about my day or what's been bothering me.
We won't let you out of it if you
Well,
notice.
in our meetings, yeah, that's exactly how it is. And that's exactly what I needed.
I'm going to go back to this just for a second. Last Monday, Rob got called out to go to work, and this is what made me think
But this is why Brandon was coming.
This is why I want Brandon in this meeting, right? Because Rob got called out to go to work, and he wasn't able to stick around for the meeting. Well, I saw Brandon, and you could see, how you could just see somebody. Just,
Well, Brandon's.
I get that way.
He don't hide. I mean,
There's no hiding.
you
No,
know
me
exactly
neither.
what he's feeling on his face,
Me neither. And
and we know each other.
I said, "Hey, Brandon, how you doing today?" "Oh, I've had better days." And I'm like, "Oh shit, okay." So much for that pink cloud. And then so we shared, and it came back around to Brandon after we got done reading. It came back around to Brandon, and Doug had noticed it as well, right? And Doug, I think,
Doug is good about.
Yes, he is.
He's good about that.
And trust me, I wasn't going to let him go. I mean, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I don't think
No, you'll
anybody-
chase people out of meetings. I know. I've
fucking
seen
ain't
it.
right. I've chased them. So Doug waited to call on him to almost the end. I think he did that on purpose. And poor old Brandon opened up about his current sponsor, which is Rob. But I mean, this is the reason why I want to talk about this, because this is going to lead into something that's really, really on my heart. And going back to that, because what pissed you off is that you were texting with Rob back and forth, and then he just stopped texting.
Yeah.
And then when you say this about your previous sponsor,
Kind of a recurring problem. Huh?
yeah, that's brought back a little bit of
But it wasn't
PSD.
2 weeks. We talked later on that.
I know, but anyways,
And to my credit, I went back and looked at the text to see, and I still can't figure out how that would.
it doesn't matter.
Anyway,
Here's the thing
but
about
I
it.
loved
It
it.
doesn't matter. Brandon was in that spot, right?
And God got me out of the way,
Right.
so that moment could
right.
happen.
And so Brandon opened up and we started talking about this, and we all just fired back saying,
That fucking sponsor of mine.
And, here's one other thing. And I'm going to say this because I want our listeners
So what
to
did you hear
this.
him say? What did he say?
Well, he basically said what they were, you guys were texting, having a conversation, and I kind of felt like he left it on a question, and then
I didn't
just
respond.
No response.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I didn't, we always go to the Saturday men's meeting in Oakdale, and I didn't show up. I actually did go to a meeting. I went to the breakfast at New Beginnings, but I thought, well, if I'm not there, he'll at least check on me. He'll at least call and say, "Hey, where were you?" And I didn't get nothing. And I was already bothered by some other personal things.
Right.
And then when that did it, I just, I tailspinned.
Right.
I was mad. And then by Monday night, I didn't want to go to that meeting. I didn't want to read
I'm
that
sure
silly
glad you
story,
went.
whatever story we read. And it actually, I thought it was kind of funny because everybody read that night. And it got to me, and the story ended. And I thought, good, I didn't want to read anyway.
It was a silly story. No.
I was the last person in line, and the story ended. And I thought, oh, perfect. I don't even have to say anything. And then I guess, yeah, you could see it on me. Aaron even said, he goes, dude, your leg was shaking 1,000 miles an hour. And I was like, well, and then Doug asked me, he says, Brandon, what'd you get out of that story? And I said, not a fucking thing. I didn't get nothing out of that story. And somebody said, what's going on with you, man? And I just threw it all out there. I was like, well, this is what's bothering me.
And
man.
that is so important. Get it the fuck out.
Yes. And how when we walked out that night, you were on a different fucking cloud, dude. You were completely different. And that's what we're talking about. And
By the way, that's taking action.
Yes.
Get it out.
Yes. And here's the thing I want to bring up, and I brought up in the meeting, and I was pissed when I left because I wanted to say this. If you're relying on that man right there, or me, or any other person to keep you sober in your happiness, you're fucked.
Oh, absolutely.
It's the same. So when you see your other sponsor, if you ever see that guy again, thank him for the opportunity.
Yes.
Thank him for that he did.
Absolutely.
Because it is our
Yes.
job. It is our sobriety. It is our life.
Yes.
We are responsible.
Yeah. I mean, you going back out, because of that guy or whatever, maybe it wasn't your time yet. You weren't done.
No, I wasn't.
And just as it was selfish of me to not share at the meeting Saturday, to end it because everyone wanted to go home, that was selfish. It's selfish of you.
Right.
If you got an issue with me, hey, motherfucker.
Yeah.
This A, B, and C.
That won't happen again.
We get it out.
Well, and it's not just Rob that you got to do it to, right?
Well, yeah, anybody.
He walked me through, in our big book, in the AA book, big book, it doesn't say sponsor anywhere in there. Nowhere does it say sponsor.
In the first 164. No, it doesn't.
Correct. Nowhere, right? We're supposed to tell a friend or tell a close confidant or tell a priest or tell somebody. It doesn't say sponsor. What Rob did for me is he walked me through my steps. He got me through that. What Rob is to me now,
We're brothers.
We're tight.
We sharpen
right?
each other.
I'm
And if
with
there's something I can't tell him,
Yes.
then I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah.
If there's something he can't
Same
tell me
thing.
that stays right here
Same
between
thing.
me, because the same rules
1000%.
apply. Me, him, and God.
Right.
It ain't his wife's
1000%.
business. It ain't my wife's business.
100%.
Me, him, and God.
But here's the other thing I can say with that. I can say in that room right there with that Monday night group, I can say anything in there that I would tell Rob.
Yeah.
I agree. Now,
Yeah.
I got
that
so much
trust.
feedback
Right.
that night.
And now,
that
what
next
else?
day,
What else
I
did you
had
find? Now, what did you
people
find out about
calling.
that group?
Right.
Those guys got my back.
What do we have?
Yes.
And, see, and
brotherhood.
I'm going to tell you guys, I appreciate that shit because I didn't have that.
No.
And where you guys, where you're at, I didn't. I was.
On your own almost.
And
Yeah.
Rob, I'm going to tell you, I talked to other people that don't have it, and I begged them to find a group.
Right.
Yeah.
And even to
And
our
God has
listeners,
helped us
yes.
build this.
But this is what we've said this a million times. We have that group. Our listeners, start it. Find one or two.
Say a
people.
prayer
Yep.
like we did.
Yep.
Two guys in the big
Yep.
book. Ask God to fill it, and then act as if that prayer is going to be answered because it is, and just go.
I mean,
And
the
he
AA
does.
meetings are fucking awesome, and I love our AA meetings in the fellowship. But that meeting right there, it's different, right?
It is different. It's free form.
Yep.
I'm not sure
But
how to
and
describe it.
there
but
is
it's-
more accountability to one another than
1000%.
in a regular AA meeting.
1000%.
This is not an AA meeting. This is brothers. We just happen to read this
We do
for something to
something.
do. But what's more important is what he did.
Right.
What more important is what Matt did.
Right.
That's why we're there to strengthen one another, to build one another, to lean on, and to be leaned on.
Absolutely. And that's why I say this to anybody I talk to that, what primary purpose is my home group, right?
Mine too.
Yep,
But
mine too.
Monday night is by far what keeps me in this program, right? It's what keeps me sober. It's that's a wrong word to say.
God keeps you sober.
God keeps me sober. But that Monday night group, if I'm having
keeps the road clear
Yes.
to God.
Yes.
Keeps
I
your
mean,
road clean. To
I
God.
need that Monday night group to keep me right sized, as Rob says, right? I mean, that's
Humble.
I know I can go into that group on a Monday night just pissed off at the world, and I'm going to leave there in a different way, right?
I certainly did.
I know you did. And we weren't going to let you leave there until you opened up, right?
Yeah,
And-
Pat called me that night. I was laying in bed, and he said, "You did call Rob, right?" And I said, "Yeah, I did." And then the next day, Aaron called me, and then John called me, Matt called me.
I think
and
I
was like-
texted you.
and you texted me, and I could feel it. I was like, "Man, these guys really do care. You know,
Right.
this ain't just going through the motions."
No, it's
this
not.
This is, and just like when we sat down here, you looked at me and I don't remember exactly what you said, but you love me. And
I
was
love
like,
you.
man.
I mean,
dude,
it's hard not
and
to.
You've only known me
But
80 something days. It's
But
like,
we
wow,
know
that's cool.
you.
right.
But we know you.
Yeah, you do now. I
It
don't
goes-
hide nothing. Now.
It goes back to our book, right? We're like that passenger ship that got wrecked, and we're up on that island, and we lived together, and we got saved. we've all been through the wreckage and the shit, right?
Yeah.
That Monday night group, and I say this all the time, I'd bury a dead body for, right? I would. Any AA person I would do that for. Probably not as intense because of what I share with, I'll share stuff on Monday night that I won't share in other meetings, right? Because that group knows me. They know I'm a control freak. They know I'm an asshole. They know I like to demand presence in a room. They know all that shit.
But if you try to share with us like you would at a Saturday morning meeting or any other meeting,
you'd bust my ass.
Right, because that ain't deep enough. What are you trying to hide?
Right.
We're
1000%.
beyond that.
We hold each other accountable like it's no big deal. Who busted I think it was you busted my balls the other day in a text, something.
Oh yeah, I did, because you sent out on the Monday
Oh,
thread.
that's right.
Who's going to primary?
Right.
And I was doing something. And Rob said, "Oh yeah, Brandon and Jamie are going. Jay's got the hots for his wife." And I said, "Yeah, we'll be there." And then I text him, individually
on the side.
On the side, I said, "Hey, yeah, it'd be great to see you there. I don't think I've ever seen you at that meeting." And he goes, "Oh, there's a football game that I really want to watch. I might go to the 7 or I might go to the 5:30 in Oakdale." And I thought, "Oh, I got this guy." I said, "Yeah, after 3 years of sobriety, I'll have excuses too."
He said it on a text. All I can do is fucking laugh. I'm like, fuck yeah, attaboy.
Yeah.
That's holding each other accountable right there, because I knew exactly what he meant.
Right.
And he didn't have to be a dick about it.
No, it's funny though.
He busted my ass with class, and I fucking loved it. It was awesome.
But see, that's something I haven't had, is like a sense of humor and be able to joke around with people, because I've been so serious and so just miserable.
But now, how is Jamie? And then your children, adult children, how have they taken the new Brandon? Because this is a brand new human being.
Oh, absolutely. Well, they got a taste of it, the last time after I got out of treatment. But they have all told me, and Jamie told me at 60 days when I got my chip, she goes, "It feels different this time." And I looked at her and I said, "Because it is different, because I'm going to do it this time."
You are doing it.
Yeah.
I am doing it. Yeah.
One day at a time.
I'm been through the steps, and I'll be honest, I'm actively looking to help somebody.
Attaboy.
There's a guy in our church that my pastor has told me about. I don't know how to approach the guy without letting him know that I know.
They don't just
let
the pastor introduce him to you.
Yeah.
What's his way? Because
I'm excited. I seen the guy today, and I wanted to run up to him and say, "Dude, I got 90 days today. You want what I got?" And I didn't, and I thought, well, it'll happen.
How it happened for me, because Steve goes, "Hey, would you share this is last year, 2 years ago, more than that, share your testimony." I said, "Well, I'm going to make these people," because I know with the pastor, I'm going to make these people feel very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
These Christians, which I am. He says, maybe they need to be. And I shook the shit out of him. I don't care. Anyway, but what came of that behind the door, hey, we have so-and-so would like to, so-and-so, because everybody in my church knows now,
Right.
Rob Thomas, recovered alcoholic. That's how I introduced myself.
I'm pretty sure anybody.
So, and there's a couple of men in our meeting that came that way. And the pastor, "Hey, Rob, can I give so-and-so?" "Sure, give my number." Yeah. That's how it'll happen.
Yeah,
and then you're ready.
That is.
You're ready.
The first time about a year, I was about a year, and I was at Northside on a Saturday morning, and a guy shared. He was new in there, and I just, because everybody kept telling me, "You got to get a sponsor. You need help. You need help. You need help." So this guy shared, and he was new in there, so I just went running up to him. "Hey, you want to go have some coffee? I'll be your sponsor." Well, that's the guy I ran out of my fucking house.
No.
No. Bounced him down these stairs and threw his ass out the front door. And it's just like, but I wasn't ready for that.
And he wasn't ready either.
He wasn't ready. And, but it's going back to what Rob said, when it's time, God, trust me, it will happen. I know for a fact, God put Chris in my life.
Yeah.
Right. I know that. And I don't think and I still think he's there and he's working. And I'm still working with Chris. I don't think that's done, but it's in God's timing, and I'm not going to be real worried about it. It is like, everybody keeps saying, "Are you stressed about it? Have you talked to him?" No, I haven't, because I'm not chasing him. Right.
Well, this brings me to Friday night. I was at primary, and there was a new person, a new face that I hadn't seen. And he said he just got out of jail. And so I kind of put myself out there, gave him my phone number, and then we go to a restaurant afterwards, Perco's, and just hang out, some fellowship, and I invited him. The spidey senses hadn't gone off yet. And then they did. When he sat down, my wife and I got separated from the group, there wasn't enough spots, so we just took a booth. Well, they came in late, him and his
They had to do a bump.
quotation mark godmother. And after he sat down and I started looking him a little closer, I was like, well, you may not have had a drink, but you have had some powdered accelerants. I guarantee it. I've been down that road and there is no fooling me. There is no convincing me otherwise.
Right.
So anyways, I quickly regretted giving him my phone number, but he hasn't called. He actually told me when he left that night, hey, if you need anybody to talk to, you can call me. And I thought,
I'll be up all night.
yeah. And I thought, dude, I was going to help you, but okay, whatever. All right, buddy.
Hey, but just let the powdered accelerants do their work.
Right.
And maybe one day he'll call you down the road, broken,
Remember?
and have that number. Wow.
Remember that day at Perco's, right? That's what you'll probably get someday.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
That's how God works.
Let's talk about this, Brandon, because you've been in this 90 days, and I want to bring it up only because, why do I sound like I'm echoing? I want to bring it up and talk about this because I remember my first 91 days that, hold on.
Why do you say 91?
Hold on a second. I'm going to cut this. Give it a pause for a second. I remember my first, that 90-day period right there. I remember those huge swings, right? Those ways. I mean, these super highs and those super lows and then those super highs. I had to find my balance, right? Somewhere along the way, I had to go, where is this fucking balance at? Because that huge high and that huge low, I didn't want to do that anymore. And like I said in the very beginning, Rob is my sponsor. And we would talk about those things. And I would talk to, at that time, at 90 days in, I really didn't know Doug. I really didn't know my circle of people like I have now was still extremely small. And I just didn't have that people, but I was able to do what I'm a reader. I like to read. I listen to YouTube. I do a lot of that stuff. And I learned finally to how to stop those extreme lows, right?
Yeah.
But those extreme highs were not healthy either because that's just not my personality, right? It takes me out of who I am.
Yep.
So I had to find that balance. And people have heard me talk about this, and I was in one of those mid lows, and me and Rob were sharing, and we had just started. And once again, you guys have heard me say this. I heard a girl in the back of the room. She was sharing.
We were sharing a meeting.
Yeah, you and I were sharing a meeting, and I heard this girl in the back of the room say, "I heard myself laugh for the first time today," and I thought, "What the fuck does she mean by that?" And then for me, when I hear stuff like that, I got to go, I got to read about it. I got to go, what does she mean about that?
But you thought about, but that affected you.
That affected me for a long time.
Yes, it did.
Right.
Angela.
Yes. And even in that same meeting, Jeanette walks by and says, "Larry, stop taking yourself so fucking serious." Because by nature, and this is where I'm going, I'm kind of in a roundabout way of getting there. By nature, I'm a very serious person, right? I'm a very serious, I'm not, I hear a couple guys laughing and joking about silly stuff, and I can't get into it, right? And I hear that stuff and I just can't do it. But that's just me. That's not my personality, right? So what took me a long time to understand is that's okay. I'm okay with that, right? Because that is just my personality. I've never been that goofy, laughy, blah kind of guy. But so when I get those super highs, right, and I get to that laughy, giggling thing, that's not my personality, right? So I didn't like that. But I also didn't like those super lows because it took me out of my peace, my serenity. It took me back to that dark place that I fought so fucking hard to get out of. And I didn't like that, right? So I had to find that balance to go, okay, this is where I want to be. Now, that being said, how do I keep it, right? So I think my question is how do you see yourself finding that balance?
Church.
Okay.
I do. I would say 6 nights a week. If I'm not in an AA meeting, I'm at a church function.
Okay.
I've jumped into that just as hard as I have AA. Like I said, if I'm not in an AA meeting, I'm either at a Bible study, a prayer service.
And how does Jamie?
Jamie's jumped into it with me. I mean, we're both just
That's something.
Yeah, we're both all in.
Let me ask you another devil's
And I'm not
advocate.
trying to be a Bible thumper here.
No, no,
but
no.
You know what? I don't care. I am going to be a Bible thumper because it's got
I'm a big
me,
book thumper, apparently.
It's got me to where I am.
Well, it's your balance.
Yeah, that's been my balance.
Right.
If I'm having a tough time, so I get irritated really easy, and I'm trying to work on that. And a 30-second prayer will
Right.
bring me out of it, you know.
Yeah.
And I just talk to God like I talk to you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll say, "Hey, man, dear God,
Yeah.
you know,
Help me.
That guy is a jerk. You
This
know?
fucking Prius, God, get him out of my way.
Can
I'm
you
gonna run it.
can you please help me breathe through this one?"
And that's it.
And that's it. Breathe through it,
And that's it.
and you get through it.
Because
You know,
what do we?
it's not
Because
easy,
it's
but
the same thing as the
life
serenity prayer.
happens.
It's gonna happen.
It's gonna
And
happen.
let me tell
every
you what.
day. Every time you wake up.
And we try to stay here. You know that
Yeah.
little. Whenever for the audience, I'm doing a small wave.
Right.
God's life's gonna because life does it. It's gonna go take you here.
Yep,
And enjoy
it
it
is.
while you're there.
Right.
Don't walk off it because then you'll hit there.
Right.
But enjoy those moments.
Yep.
And you're going to be in the valley because that's where the growth takes place. And if we never get there, we don't grow, and we need that.
I hear you.
When you're
say-
ready,
yeah.
God will show you.
I hear you, Rob, say that, but when I hear you say, I don't like to use the reference valley. And I'm going to say this again. When you're in those valleys, that slope down is much easier than that climb up, right? That fall off that peak is easy. So you can go down that scale and into that hole very, very quickly and very easily. You know, and I worry about that, and maybe I'm talking.
But a lot of
more
those are.
about
I'm not
myself.
talking about self-inflicted valleys.
Okay.
I'm talking about like, hey,
Yeah.
Rob, I'm on the 99 headed to Milano's to get parts. That lump in your neck, it is cancer. You got stage 4 cancer,
Yep.
son.
Yep.
That's a life-giving valley.
Right.
You're going.
Right.
The growth is going to have. You don't
You're
kill
right.
you.
You're right.
But not when we shoot ourselves in the foot. I'm not talking about that.
Okay. So, but all I'm trying to say is I got to be very cautious of those valleys, those downslopes. I got to be very cautious of those extreme highs, right? I don't like them because like I said, when I get there, that's not my personality. I'm not that guy, right? And I don't like being there because I know that
Maybe
slide off-
God's changing you. I mean, who
but-
you're going to be next year is not the guy you are now.
I get that. And it's okay if I gradually get up there, but I don't like those spikes, right?
yeah.
When all of a sudden I'm just laughing, giggling, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? And I'm okay with it, and I'm going to let it happen.
Well, like Brandon coming in. I mean, when he first came in, him and Russ, I call curmudgeon because that's such a great word for they're grinding,
Right.
just
Right.
But waiting for the other shoe to drop or whatever. And then he comes in, as he grows. I mean, in 90 days,
Right.
smiling his ass off.
Right.
Because life's good. I have peace. I have
Because
peace.
we let it be.
Peace in my mind and in my chest.
That's
serenity.
Larry's
My heart
serenity.
is not
serenity.
racing like it
there's
used to
serenity.
constantly.
I watched like I said, I watched a video, and I watch a lot of shit, and that's where I get my levelness from, right? It's not that I watch a lot of stuff, I read a lot of stuff, and I take what I need and I throw away what I don't need, and I watch something, and I try to practice this, and that your anxiety and your peace goes as fast as you do. So if you walk fast, everything inside you is going to go fast. If you learn to slow down,
See, but I'm fast by nature, and
Correct.
and that's why my
but I
lifestyle.
don't like that.
No, because
right?
you're not like that by nature.
No.
You're not like I'd love it up there. I can be up there and I can just drop right here. I'm good.
Yeah, I say I can't. I need that balance. You said something, and I want to get back to this. And why do I feel like I'm leaving that?
Go to it. Move on.
I know, but I'm leaving something undone there. You said something a minute ago. I wanted to ask. You said in the very
He's
beginning,
pointing at Brandon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you said you did the 60 days at rehab the first time, and you felt like you got not burnt out, but you felt
burnt
like,
out.
Yeah, burnt out. Let me ask you questions and playing devil's advocate. What's going to keep you from getting burnt out on going to church 6 days a week?
He might.
Church and AA. Oh, it's very possible I could get burned out. No, it was my second stint in rehab, 30 years apart, 17 and 47.
Okay.
So when I was 47, I did 60 days. I think it was just not the isolation. It's the being in a bubble.
Right.
The being in a bubble wasn't.
Okay.
Anybody can stay sober when you're
Right. Okay.
in a bubble.
Okay.
That's why I didn't go to rehab this time. I was like, no, I got to do this on my own.
Gotcha.
I know that I don't need to go do all the paperwork and the booklets that they give you. I need to get into what's going to keep me sober in the wild.
You had enough sobriety in you
In
to
the
know.
wild.
In the wild.
In the wild.
And now listen, because when what people need, you didn't. What he needs is what I needed. When I got out for the first 3.5 years, I was a primary purpose every day. Yeah. And when we got into church, and I mean, we were very involved. And then later on, I mean, then I got burnt. I mean, he pointed out, and then because I'll get God will throw as much at me as you want more.
Yeah.
You want more. You know, until I find out for myself, because God's not going to say, Rob, you're burnt.
I've already had to take,
But you may not be.
like Saturday nights. I'll go to that Saturday morning meeting, and then I won't go Saturday night.
Right.
It's like, I got to have at least one night to hang out with the family and watch a movie. And it's like,
Well, there's a reason why you got sober,
Well,
right?
that's what
It's
you-
to be with your family.
And that's what because when Logan started sports, because my kids were, and I was then foreman job, all that stuff. Like I was telling Jay, because you always hear don't let the life that AA provides get in the way of your AA life.
1,000%.
However, so Logan started doing sports. Everybody knows sports is, and Emily was doing her, the drama. She was going, and I was telling Jay, I'm not going to be able to go. And he goes, Rob, guess what? God did not get you sober to go to meetings. Right. God did not get, now if you have time to go to meetings, brother, go and share. God did not get you sober to sponsor other men. That's not your vocation. He got you sober to be a father. Be a sober husband. Go do those things. And when you find time.
And
balance.
it took me balance. I always say that balance. It took me about 3 weeks when I first came out of rehab and started. I hit every meeting that came along. And I mean, once again, I got into my sponsor right away. And after about 3 weeks, I was coming home from primary one night. I'll never forget it. I know exactly where I was at. I just passed over McHenry, and I called my wife. I was like, hey, I got to find a different balance. This isn't working for me, right? I recognized it right away. I wanted to be home with my wife. I wanted to be with my kids. The reason why I got sober was to be with them, and I had to figure out that balance. And then what was ironic is I lowered back and backed away, but then all of a sudden I scaled back up again, right? I took on another meeting that I was chairing, H&I,
which is,
and I ramped myself back up to where I was just.
But it was different.
It was different because this time I wasn't sitting in a meeting. This time, fuck, there ain't no lie. If I ain't talking, I ain't fucking. I'm not healthy, right?
And Brandon's kids are adults now.
Yes, they are adults, and something that came to my mind when we were just talking about this was before I quit drinking. When I was drinking, I was sitting in the living room by myself, getting drunk. Yep. So what else am I going to do? Sit there? No. I mean, maybe I'm not saying this right, but I don't mind filling my time, my evenings, going to a meeting. And then I love going to primary. I mean, those guys, I went there one time. The next time I show up, everybody knew my name. Oh, yeah. And I was like,
I love that group.
Well, this isn't like what I'm used to. These guys are cool. I mean,
they're
family. Really, they're family.
Yeah.
Just like the Monday group.
Right.
They're family. So I don't mind going. It's not a burden.
If Katie's gone,
and you'll know if it does. If it gets to you,
I'll scale it back a little bit.
That's why I went to a meeting Friday night, because Katie had
you did go to a meeting.
I went to the 5:30.
Yeah, with me.
Yeah, I just didn't want to see you, Brandon.
He didn't want to drive. Now, if you tell, he didn't want to drive that far. 5:30, so he gets back sooner. That's what it is.
Well, I did have a football game on I wanted to watch. There's
Don't they have that thing called record?
This was a high school championship game down in LA.
Who's playing?
Carmel, a buddy of mine, his son was playing. Yeah. They ended up winning the state championship. Sonora won the state championship too. So did Somerville.
Buddy here in town, that's his nephew.
Yeah. So did Somerville. Yeah. Wow. So I feel like I left that high peak, and I don't want to beat it up. I say it scares me when I get on that high peak. And
what scares you about it? You're not going to drink.
Because that's not. No, God, no.
It's
being
uncomfortable.
Ever worry about.
It's uncomfortable.
Yes, because that's not my personality.
Wasn't your problem?
Go back. I don't want to go back to
drinking.
So relapse is the fear.
Oh,
let's get some step work working on that relapse thing. It'll go away.
Trust me, it goes away. Are you still having dreams? Are you having drinking dreams?
No, not drinking dreams. I have drug dreams. Which
really?
Yeah, I've had those. I don't have drinking dreams. I have dope dreams.
I'm probably gonna have one now because I fucking talked about it, but I haven't had one in a long time. Knock on wood.
Hey, great.
But those
as long as that's where they stay,
dude. Those dreams.
I'm not worried about them.
They're brutal. Just if anybody is new and listening to this, don't let those dreams scare you, because I literally had to wake up and wake Katie up and go, please tell me I've been right here with you all night long.
Yeah,
because they're so fucking real. right?
Yeah, that one I
You
had.
can almost smell the stale whiskey.
I woke up with a hangover. I had a dream that I got drunk, and I woke up with a hangover. And the first thing I thought was, I got to call Rob, tell him I blew it. And then I laid there and I thought, oh no, I'm good. I didn't.
Right.
I've been here all night.
Yeah.
Ooh, thank God.
Yeah, that's a shitty feeling.
But eventually
Like
that'll go away.
It has. It's subsided.
Yeah.
It has subsided a lot in me. I still get them from time to time. I get them whenever we go to a wedding or to a drinking party or something like that is when I get them, because that is in your self-conscious, you know. I think, and I'll probably have one tonight now because we're fucking talking about it.
Maybe.
But you know, but they're so fucking
Well, if we're gonna do
real.
that, how about a sex dream? Can we have one of those?
I have
Not
those.
a wet one, by God, just
I
a
have
good
those.
old-fashioned sex dream.
I have those
Let me
all
have
the
one
time.
of those.
I have them all the time, Rob. Just it involves myself.
No.
And Cheetos.
And Cheetos. I know. There's a bag of Cheetos Brandon bought you right there.
Brandon
brought those for you.
Brandon brought me a bag of Cheetos today. You know, I guess here's the thing about it. I'm beginning to. I got a personality. I talk all the time. I dominate the podcast, and I eat fucking Cheetos and rub one out on the podcast.
Yeah.
None of that is fucking true, except I like to dominate the conversation.
Bullshit. I could have swore. I mean, I may
It
be
is your house.
I may be mistaken. I might be mistaken, Brandon. I don't know. You know, because sometimes there's reality. Sometimes things seem so real. I made it in a dream. All microphones were aimed right at him. He had his leg up just like this, buck ass naked. He had a shirt on,
okay, stop.
naked from the waist down.
Hey,
his penis was orange.
Hey.
And there's a bag of Cheetos right there.
You want to talk about what kind of dreams that fucker's having?
Right?
Yeah.
About me.
Some, what do they say in the room? Some are sicker than others.
Yep.
Well, Brandon, you know, I think this is what we talk about all the time is we see and I've only been in these rooms.
Don't say only.
Sorry. I've been in these rooms, I don't know, 900 days. I think I'm getting close or something like that. But in that time, I've had the privilege to watch multiple people come in and the lights come on, right? When those lights come on.
And I want to say something. Go ahead.
When those lights come on with somebody and we see it, it literally fills my soul more than probably you can ever. You'll see it, right?
Yeah.
Once you get sober for a while and you start seeing that, it'll give you. Every time I see it, it gives me hope, right?
Well, I have hope when I see it. When you see it for me,
Right.
I think,
Oh, my
maybe
God.
I'm getting there.
You are.
So
You are. I'll tell you when I really saw it was Monday night when you opened up.
Yeah.
That's when I saw it. I was like, yeah, he gets it.
Yeah.
I knew when I left there Monday night and you opened up the way you did, I'm like, yep, he's got it. He's got it. He's going to be okay.
Yeah.
As long as you stick to that.
Right. He's going to be okay.
Now I'm going to say something to let you two know how special, which you do, but let's put this in context. Gilbert, we all know who Gilbert is. No one else in the world does, but we do, right?
From
Oakdale.
Yeah.
Old motherfucker.
Yeah.
Sober 30-something years. He shared the other day, you know, he sponsored a lot of guys. He's only, in his time, 30, almost 40 years, 30-something years, 36 years. Yeah. He's only had 3 dudes come in and 2 dudes, I'm sorry, that finished the steps with him out of all those years.
Really?
Yeah. He said that in the last meeting. Think about the little group we've got.
Right.
And how many men came in and finished the steps.
Yep.
You want to see God doing. You want to know why God's doing some work.
Right.
Look at the
I
little
think
group.
that's a
we've got.
testament to how fast you go through them. I mean, my
Well,
goodness.
Well, he's just doing it the way the fucking
just
book
to
tells
let
you.
it
no,
go.
I'm not saying
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with it.
It's just no magic to it. It's all God.
Right.
It's right here. It's laid out on paper.
I never heard it laid out like that. When you said, you know, here's this paper, fill this out. Boom. All right, now you're gonna do this. All right, now you're gonna do that. Okay.
But I back it all up by
wow,
this
quick.
because here's why
Right.
we do it, because on page 87 it is here, and page 70.
Now, I'm going to tell you something and go contrary to this a little bit is I went through those steps so hard and so fast that I still going back now.
Good.
I'm still have stuff coming up.
More
right?
will be
revealed. So,
book says so.
and at the beginning, when those first started coming up, I was like, that motherfucker didn't do a good enough job. Right.
Well, that's kind of what I thought too.
But guess what? I didn't do a good
There
enough
it
job.
is.
But
Yeah,
I
at
need
that time, you guys were when we
Yes.
come in, we're hurting.
Yes.
We got to get the low hanging fruit.
Right.
Yep.
That's why the book says
Right.
more will
Right.
be revealed. And if you stay in the process,
Yep.
shit comes up like, man, that fucking little prick sponsor of mine, he left it wide open. And then you sit there and we just turn and grind.
Oh, boy.
Instead of, he could have saved himself a great weekend.
Yeah.
He threw away a whole weekend.
Yep.
Like the book says, we're at primary purpose, got to page 67. You know, the hours we squandered.
Yep.
Yeah, talk about that. How that went that night. He says, before we start this podcast, we're gonna go through. I had just opened my book, just randomly. I'm going to read something out of the book before the meeting starts. I opened the book. I'm on page 66. He says, "Hey, we're going to look at something on page 66 before we start the podcast." And then the meeting starts, and she says, Jackie, she's up there. She says, "We're going to do some reading off of page 66." And I looked at Rob and I went, "My goodness."
Is that odd?
No, it's always God.
I think that was God.
And this is what I was reading. This is what I was talking about. How he threw away, because time is precious. The one commodity we don't
1,000%
is the most precious thing we possess.
Yep.
It says, "It is plain that a life which includes deep resentment leads only to futility and unhappiness. To the precise extent that we permit these, do we squander the hours that might have been worthwhile."
Right.
Can you? And I asked Brian, I go, think about it now. How many when we think about planning and drinking, all that, or we were chasing dope, chasing the powdered accelerants, all that time we squandered. It could have been with our family, could have been fishing, hunting, doing anything other.
Then worrying.
We squandered the hours, which he just did in sobriety. Could have gave me a 5-minute phone call. We'd have got it all clear.
Guess what, Rob?
The weekend. Why?
No, he didn't need to call just you.
Anybody.
No,
But that's my point.
Anybody.
But I think it worked out for a reason. I got to see
Yes.
in
that
action.
the men in that group have my back, not just Rob, but all of those
Everybody
guys do.
in there.
And then maybe that's why it happened the way it did.
And very well could be
God
right.
has a plan.
God had a plan. But I also
Could he
want
have done it? Guys, listen, God bless him, mother. I left at 5, went out to the pit in the middle of the dark, cold shit.
Are you going to play victim here?
Victim. And
You motherfucker.
had to call out another because the pump seized up. So I'm out there greased, cold, fucked up. Couldn't he done it a different way? Couldn't he got Brandon a different, lesson without sending me out there till midnight working?
But I left. I did call him when I left the meeting, and he got so excited. I said, "Hey," well, because everybody said, "You need to call Rob. You need to call Rob." And then when I left, I'm like, "Well, I'm thinking, what am I going to say to him?" So I just called him up and said, "Hey, dude, I got to make an amends." And I got this giddy, "Oh, really? What's going on?" And I thought, well, he's excited for this. And I said, "Dude, I was mad at you and I held it against you. And I grinded over that plus what I was mad at and to the point where that's all I was mad at." And he says, "Oh, well, do you feel better?" I said, "Yeah, actually, I do feel better. I feel a lot better."
That's so fucking fun. But it's funny because I know exactly what you went through.
Yeah.
I know. I've done it. Not at Rob. But think about this. Hold on. You're going to do it to your wife. You're going to do it to your kids. You're going to do it to your employer. You're going to do it to that motherfucker that cut you off in the middle of the road. These are the things. These are life.
But
these are things that
to
happen
your wife,
in life.
to your employer, to your brothers.
Yeah.
Handle it then.
Yep.
Yes.
Handle it then.
Right now.
Remember, I have taught the one gift, well, many gifts, but one of the greatest gifts of my daughter or my son that I have finally got through their heads, which took me 30, 40, 50 years. Get with the word confrontation. It is not part of their vocabulary.
Nope.
It's just a conversation.
Right.
Go have it. Leave the results up to God.
Right.
You go have an honest conversation. Calm. And they do that. And they realize that, dude, it doesn't turn out nearly as bad as you think it does.
What we hear, they were home snoring. Wasn't it that there was in yesterday morning's meeting that Mike was saying that they were pissed off, but they were actually.
Well, he was pissed off, and his wife says, "Hey,
they're home snoring.
they don't even know you're mad at
They
them."
don't even know you're mad at you.
Yeah.
Dude, that guy was so funny yesterday morning talking about it.
Dude, he's a character.
That guy was
I used to work with him.
cracking me up.
That's what they say. Poison or acid
Right.
does more harm to the vessel that it's stored than onto whom that it's poured.
Yep.
Because we're just hold on to that, hoping that they die. We're taking poison, hoping they die. They don't even know you're mad.
I have to tell
And
people.
by the way,
this.
they're renting space in your head.
Yep.
Fuck that. I ain't
What
giving
does
nobody.
my cousin Scotty told me, which is Laurel's husband, says, don't borrow trouble that's not needed.
Right.
And I'm like, he said that at breakfast one morning. And I'm like, excuse me, say that again. Yeah, just don't borrow trouble. I'm like, wow, that's pretty fucking powerful. All right. Don't borrow in it. I'll go up and talk to somebody and hey, I got to tell you something. And it's probably not going to mean shit to you, but it's something I need to say. And I'll tell them something, that, hey, I was a little pissy when you said this, but it's really, you didn't do anything wrong, right? This is me, but I have to just tell you, this is kind of pissed me off. And sometimes I'll get back, stop being a pussy. He's
I had an old
he's
boss
right.
show up to BJ.
Right.
He's sober now. I said, "Hey, Rob, just not for nothing. He overheard me talking to somebody. You don't have to show up to every fight you're invited to." And you walk by and said, "What'd you just?"
Yeah, that's a good one.
Okay.
That is a very
The same with
good
Michael told Brad, "Why you don't have to? If someone throws shit at you, don't catch it.
Right.
Just step out of the way. Don't
Yeah.
keep catching shit."
And it's as the longer we're sober and the longer we practice these things that we know that to do, the easier it gets, right? What's funny now is I'll hear my daughter, I'll hear my wife, I'll hear, somebody talking about something going on, and I'll just look at them and they go, "Yeah, we know," because they know what I'm fucking trying to tell them. It's like, what the fuck is your, are you owning any of this shit that you're talking about? Because I hear what you're saying, but I'll guarantee you weren't just fucking standing in the room.
And as well as how many times we've read through this and then new shit shows up, much like the Bible, exactly like the Bible. When our eyes are ready, God will open it up to us. When our mind is ready, when our heart is ready, God will open that door up to us. But not before, because we're not ready. And then it's just a waste. So,
anyways, Brandon, fucking loved you being here.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you having me on. You got to bring me back in.
Yeah, no,
How about when I
that's a great idea.
We'll
when I
90
come-
days, 180 days.
Yeah.
We'll
or
bring
maybe
you
when I
back.
hit a year or something like
No,
that.
no, in between there, because
Yeah.
why do you think there's 3 months, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, then 6 months, 9 months, a year? There's reasons AA does it that way, because most people don't make it
Right.
for one. And those are landmarks, much like when we turn 18 to 25, our mind changes to 30 years old.
Right. Yeah.
So this is a great.
I like the 90 day. That was perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and like I said, you sit in the room and you've listened to our podcast. You see me and Brad talk about it all the time. We're at that, he's like 28 to 32, something like that ahead of me. But maturity wise in this sobriety, we're about at the same time.
Yeah,
right?
and
what
that's-
I'm going through, that's why I talk to Brad so much, and why me and Brad are so tight is because him and I can share a lot of stuff that we're working through because we're going through it for the first time.
But
3 years in, right?
To that, I can now say there's someone 3 years sober, but they kind of did the Brandon way the 1st time. They didn't really get a sponsor. They're just kind of dry. They won't sound like you and Brad. You and Brad sound that way because you're about 3 years doing the deal. You're spiritually growing at that rate.
1,000%. Because we talk to each other.
But at a faster rate than most people because you're pouring it in there.
We're doing the work.
Yeah.
And because I'm not afraid to call Brad and go, "Hey, motherfucker, this, or him call me and say, we're not afraid to do that.
Because
right?
that's what love is.
What's your fuck yeah?
That's what love looks like.
Or
it's not tough love. It's just love.
And I tell everybody, I love you. All these guys, I love you guys, man. And I do. How can you not love somebody that is keeping you from killing yourself or running off the side of a fucking, that?
Yeah.
I mean, you could sit there and look at your wife and say, "Oh yes, I love you." And there's a different love, right?
Yeah.
So different. But my God, these guys that keep me whole and keep me healthy,
Absolutely.
But it's also
fucking love them.
It's the shipwreck you're talking about.
Yes.
The book says, we were wrecked.
Yep.
Alcoholism, drug addiction. We were wrecked. But the book says that would not hold us as we are held now because we have a common solution.
Yes.
He's worked the steps.
Yep.
Because for another human, go to another man and say, "Hey, here's my shit that I thought was in my closet that I thought I was going to die with. Here it is. Yep. Every fucking thing. Yep. That takes guts.
Yes, sir.
That takes courage.
That takes a man.
Most people don't do that.
Most
so when a
people
man
don't-
does that,
Yep.
and when we see each other on the road, even guys that
Right.
if you see them or see them at a supermarket, they're not in our circle, but they're in the AA bigger circle, and you just see them just kind of giving that nod.
Yep.
That nod is just that motherfucker's done something that most people don't have the guts to do.
Yep.
And
That's a true
I
fact.
respect that.
One more thing I want to bring up. I said that I smoked pot and drank through the latter part. That's the first thing I picked up when I got out of rehab last time.
pot?
Yep. I made it 60 days in rehab, and then I made a personal goal to make it 60 days out of rehab. And as soon as I hit that 60 days, I started smoking weed. And I've heard this talked about before, and it's been talked about in this general area that we live in, the California sober thing. And when I got sober this time, I had no intention of quitting smoking pot. But I talked about it with Rob, and I'm not changing my sobriety date, but I smoked weed for about 2 weeks after the September 16th, but I haven't since. And
One of the brothers
great.
in the room,
I feel great.
one of the brothers in the room had brought up that they had, you know, and who I sponsor, and he was watching. Because they said we went out to the pond to do his fifth step. And he goes, "Hey, I got something to tell you. Did so and so at the room? Did that bring it out? Yeah, it's been. And then anything that's grinding on you,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
it's grinding on you for a reason.
Yep. Get it out.
Yeah.
Get it the fuck
And aren't you
out.
glad? Because you may be sober, but you ain't clean.
You know,
You're not even
here's,
sober. but
here,
you know,
and we
you know.
talked about this in the last podcast. I think this is one's going to air, not for sure, but we talked about it. I have that with my wife now, right? I'm able to do that with her. And I preference that by saying, listen, I got to say this, right? And we talk about it. And here's the one thing about it.
Brandon's got that kind of wife. Jamie be like that.
Right. And
Absolutely.
that is something that's so healthy to be able to,
Oh, yeah.
a spouse to be able to listen to me and say, this is what I'm feeling. This is where I'm at. And then be able to listen to her call you out on your bullshit.
And I've had my wife say, "Hey, Rob, Bonnie."
Right.
She says, "Honey, I appreciate that, but I think that's something you need to, you know, I thank you for sharing that with me, but I think that's something you need to go
Right.
bounce that off another man."
Well, Katie will say that too. You know,
Which is awesome.
you should probably call and talk to Rob. But here's where Katie is, though. She knows Doug and Brad and everybody else very good enough. She'll go, you know, you should call Brad about that. Or
Absolutely.
you should call Doug about that.
Absolutely.
You know, so this is a thing that you will learn. You know, and I want to encourage anybody listening in your groups, find a group. My God,
Build one. Ask God to help you build
Yes.
one, which is what we did.
What this our group, these guys that were together, whether it's a bunch of women or a bunch of men, do the group. But here's the one thing I know: I can call Rob for certain things, Doug for things, Michael for things. Michael is
Yeah,
Tranny Mike is just I miss
because he
that
builds
dude.
transmissions.
Yes.
Will you stop quantifying that? I want them to all think he's a tranny. I love
He may be.
I miss that
He
guy.
may be, but the reason we call him that is because he rebuilds transmissions.
Been under the weather. hasn't he?
Yeah, he's been under the weather, and he went and saw his mother-in-law, and I was gone for not his mother-in-law, his mom in Florida, but I was gone for 3 weeks. I haven't seen Michael in probably 2 months, and I'm missing that man. But I mean, I've called and talked to him. You know, hey, you know, and I meant to bring this up the other day. Remember when Michael came into our meeting for the first time?
Oh my God!
Dude, I thought he was a fucking serial killer. I ain't lying, bud.
If you told me that guy had bodies in the basement, I believe you.
And he had
believe
like 18 years sobriety.
Yeah,
He wasn't coming in.
Dry.
I asked him that at the wedding.
Yeah.
Because he was the first person that I saw that day.
Right.
He was talking to my wife and
He's
I.
on fire. He's on.
And he
alive.
told me how many, and I was like, oh, wow. I thought you were, you know, I was going to say 6 months. And he was like, I don't know, 20 something years. I was like,
Yeah, but there's
caught me off
and then
guard.
there's that spiritual growth that needs to take place. So I want to
my
say
God.
one thing about the California sober, which you're not. I have lost my right to chemical peace of mind.
Yes.
Any,
Me too.
Any chemical.
Yes.
So keep
Me
that in
too.
mind.
Me too. Hey, you know what? You wanted me to bring this up too, and I started to shut it down, but I wrote it down. You wanted me to bring this back up. You're sick and tired of hearing "I am sorry." You said, "Bring that back up to me a minute ago."
Well, what do I tell you? Okay, and again, I love to hear when people I've sponsored speak because Rob told me this, and I never tell anybody anything. I make suggestions. I say what A, B, and C guy, you know, 5 guys that were in your position, this is what they did. Because you guys got it. But the one thing I do say is, to your best interview, I used to say you're not allowed to, but don't say you're sorry. So what do I ask you guys to say? I was wrong. XYZ behavior. Please forgive me. What can I do to make it right? That's an amends. And then whatever they ask, whatever they may lay out, you go fucking do it. Don't say you're sorry because that's all we've ever said.
right.
And it holds no weight. So we are not allowed to say we're sorry when you do an amends. I was wrong. XYZ behavior, whatever was wrong. Please forgive me. What can I do to make, if anything, to make it right? Then you stand there and let them do
them
whatever.
tell you. Yeah, that is a true fact. I still say I'm sorry, but I don't. It's hard not to say it because that's just a common word.
Now it's different, but when you go do an
Right.
amends, which is fresh, with like the book lays out, it's supposed to be. This is supposed to be fresh.
Yeah. All right. Well, fuck, Brandon, we're gonna have you back.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be a good. This is gonna be a good journey.
This is a fun journey.
Another
like
3
I
months.
Said,
That's actually a good idea.
It's fun. I like it. And I wanted, so after I left there Monday night, you know, I didn't say anything on Monday night because I didn't want to call Rob. I was hoping nobody called Rob. I wanted you to be the first. I didn't want anybody to call Rob and say, hey, Brandon's fucking pissed, right? I wanted Rob to get it raw, right?
Oh,
He
right.
did. He got it within 10 minutes.
But had anybody given you any heads up?
No, I'm out the
Yeah,
fucking
good.
pit, changing a pump out, ice cold. You know,
He was
my-
looking for a bobcat, or a mountain lion.
yeah,
That's funny. I'm glad he got it wrong.
because I had everything.
did.
Yeah,
I had
good.
everything
But by
unbuttoned.
then I was already I was way over it.
Yeah, but
I had to. I
You-
needed to talk to
You
him.
need to take the final action.
Yes.
yeah, you had to do
have to
that.
do-
I told you what was bothering me,
Yeah.
and but by
I
the time,
love
by the
that.
time I got it off my chest and everybody said what they needed to say to me,
Well, the
the weight was lifted.
And what did I tell you? I said, I'm going to disappoint you. I'm going to let you down at some point because I'm human.
I
You
said
know?
that. I said
Even
this
though
from
I
the very
did in
beginning.
this case, I didn't. He just,
I said it from the very beginning. If you're waiting for that little fucking hobbit over there to keep you sober and happy, you're fucked.
it'll happen.
No, it's on me.
Yeah, 1,000%. Your wife, your kids, there's nobody. That's
And
gonna
once
keep
you realize
fucking
alcohol
happy.
is not the problem, drugs
Yeah.
weren't the problem, we were the problem,
Yeah.
and wherever you find it. But I will, a couple of guys now that went just the church route are back in AA,
No,
Let's-
you need
let's-
both.
less than 30 days sober, or stick to, if you're an alcoholic, you better stick to AA. You have that part of it. But if you want to incorporate both, knock it out.
But I'm going to tell you right now, and I go back to this. I just read it again this morning. And Dr. Bob's nightmare is I am closer to God now, and I've taught Bible studies. I've been heavily involved in the church. I'm closer to God now through AA than I ever was in all my years. Me and him are
Hey, listen,
extremely tight.
King David could do all the damn praying in the world he
Yes,
wanted
sir.
to. Eventually, he had to pick up a stone and
Yep.
put it in a sling.
Yep.
Action. That's how we get close
Yep.
to God. We take action. We don't sit on it, which prayer's great.
Right.
I'm gonna, if I talk to someone in AA, I'm gonna share my AA experience and bring in the church and God, and then at the church, I'm gonna share my church experience and also incorporate my AA experience.
Just
So it'll be. I'm
Yeah,
gonna use both.
Just be sober out loud. I mean, that's the
That's
key
it,
thing. I mean,
out loud.
I'm, and I say this,
Share
and
my
Brad
peace.
says this, and
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, I'm sober out loud so people don't die in silence, right? And I've read it. I didn't make that up, and neither did Brad. But I'm sober out loud. I have it on my arms. I have it everywhere. I'm sober out loud because I love this thing called serenity, and I have it through my
amazing.
sobriety. Right. And the peace that I have in my heart, and the things I'm learning to slow down. And it's coming more and more frequently for me to slow down, to enjoy. I got to go watch.
How was wrestling today?
Oh my God. Just to be there.
Watching those little videos, I remember.
Just to be there with and not even just my grandkids, just to watch all those kids and be a part of that, and being there and being present with my granddaughter and with my grandson. And it's just, I love it. And it's just the peace and
And you could have missed all that.
one drink, buddy.
One drink away. You could have missed all that.
Drink away. And I'll tell you what, that drink is still sitting there,
Yeah.
waiting for me.
We could pick it up anytime. We can grab our misery by two hands if we want to.
Absolutely. And I just do, I put insurance between me and that drink every day. And that's, that's picking up. I get mine from reading my book, right? And doing my reading and being in the prayers. That's where I get my balance from.
I get because I'm more
right.
the fast.
Yeah.
I gotta have the one-on-one interaction. I
And
gotta have that.
He does. And for sure. But if I miss a morning sitting in front of my book and reading,
yeah.
my day is going to be okay, but I'm gonna miss that, and I'm gonna know before the day's over that that I missed something, right, and that I didn't allow myself to be happy that day, right. And those are days that you cannot get back, right? You can't get those moments back for nothing.
But here's the thing: because I have there's certain things I do in the morning that I do. But when I used to, if I get in a hurry and I'd go, I was like, crap, I didn't do my God time. I didn't take my God time. But now, no. God wants time with me too.
Right.
I didn't give God my time. I didn't give God His time with me.
Yep.
I didn't give God His time with me. That's why it's not my time with Him.
Nope.
He wants me too.
Yep.
It's a relationship,
It's that
and He misses that.
It's that plugging in for a moment of that alone time.
But I'm not plugging into God. I'm plugging God into me.
Yes, some
He
people
can have Rob
call
time.
that. Some people call that meditation. I just call
Well,
it.
the big book does.
Right.
That's big book.
I
meditation.
call that my time. Right. That's my time. That's my time for God, or however Rob puts it, but that is my time where God and I sit there and we have a conversation.
Yeah, I would say I do it throughout the day.
Yeah. I do that too.
I do a little bit in the morning just to get my day started, read the daily reflection.
And you got a good drive to work and a good drive home, which is a great opportunity.
Yeah.
To take some time.
To Joe and Charlie. And
Dude, that's
oh,
a great
yeah.
one.
And then I listen to a little bit of Bible verses, and then I pollute my mind with some other podcast. But that's entertainment.
Recovery Unfiltered.
Yeah, no, that's part of my that's part of my recovery.
Right, like I said, Rob and I are going to be on one. It'll air before this, so we're going to be on
Friday.
Right,
This Friday, coming Friday,
so
right?
this on Friday. So
3.
we're going to be December 20th. Rob and I are recording on Sober Not Mature on another podcast. The guys are out of Illinois, and it's going to be fun. It'll be a fun podcast
And live.
I don't think that one's live.
Oh no, I thought you guys.
No. I thought it was too, but it's not. But they posted.
So 3 o'clock our time is 6 o'clock theirs?
4 o'clock our time. I got corrected.
Okay, 4 o'clock. So it's 7 o'clock their time. Okay.
So we are going to be doing that, and I'm super excited about that. Right? Yeah, I mean, the collaboration between the two podcasts is going to be super fun. So
I just want to give a quick shout out to my wife Jamie. She's been an absolute soldier for sticking it out with me, and just want to say I love you, babe.
thanks, Brandon.
Thank you for joining us today.
We hope you learned something today that will help you.
If you did not, come back next week and we'll try again.
If you like what we heard, give us a 5-star review. If you don't like what you heard, kiss my... You can't say that, can you? Anyway, if you don't like what you heard, go ahead and tell us that too. We'll see what we can improve. We probably won't change nothing, but do it anyway.
Hey, thanks, Rob. Come back next week and hopefully something will be different and something will sink in. Take care.
This has been Recovery Unfiltered.